everybody. Happy almost Valentine's Day. I'm Georgia Rose, and we are in the Soul Space. Zancuda Soul Space live every Monday night right here on, on Strong Island Television. I always forget that the camera is reversed. So are you guys all excited about almost Valentine's Day? I am. So I said my gift to you would be readings. And tonight I'm going to do some chart work, some chart readings. We picked out people who sent me their info, and we're going to read those charts online tonight. I'm so excited to do this for you guys. It's going to be really cool. We're going to talk about soul intention. And hopefully, if you are watching, even though your chart isn't one that has been picked to be read, hopefully you can get a lot out of it, because we're going to be talking about all kinds of things with astrology, and you guys know that always helps you guys figure stuff out. So I am going to share the show and give you guys a chance to kind of pile in a little bit. Let me get going on that. Hold on one second, Rudy. Okay, we're going to share. And if you guys would share the show, that would be awesome too. Would love to see you do that, because we want to get more and more viewers in our beautiful soul space. Having some technical little issues tonight. You can certainly tell the planets are not always cooperating. Okay, so we're going to put this in on my feed live now. And Bobby's going to put our phone number on the screen in a little bit. And what we're going to ask is that if I'm doing your chart reading and you want to call in to, communicate and connect with me while I'm doing that, that's great. We're not going to take random calls for the beginning part of the show. But we will, if you need to communicate with me while we're doing the charts, that would be awesome. Okay. So hopefully you guys are sharing that beautiful show with me. And I'm going to start out today by talking about the astrology a little bit, because we have something really important that happened this week with the regular astrology, with everyone's chart, which is the globe. And that is that. Just want to make sure we're on the Zancuda site. Give me one sec. I promised myself that I would be good. Okay, great. I promised myself I would be more diligent about sharing the shows, because sometimes I forget to do that, and then people miss it, and then I get a lot of calls and texts, and people are like, "Where's the show? I didn't see the show." So I'm trying to fix that tonight. All right, share. And then I need to find Zancuda Astrology. There we are. Terrific. Okay. So the big thing that's happening this week is we've got Mars moving into Aquarius, and it's having a conversation with the planet Pluto. Now, if you go back into the last couple of shows, we talked a lot about Pluto going into Aquarius. That was a really big energy. First time it's there in 246 years. It's the Pluto return for the United States of America, all kinds of things going on with that. If you want more information about it, you can go on my Facebook page, Zancuda Soul Space, and you can watch those videos, or on my YouTube channel, Zancuda, and watch those videos. So there's a video, Pluto in Aquarius, and there's a couple of other videos about that. So Mars now joins Pluto in Aquarius. We have a lot of planets in Aquarius right now, a lot of Aquarius energy. And what that means when Mars and Pluto meet in the sky and they start having a conversation, they're actually they're like at 0 point Aquarius, which is a brand new energy starting point of that particular sign. As I talked about in previous shows and previous videos, Aquarian energy is an energy of breaking apart, decentralizing things, so that we have to find a new way of doing something, or a new way of structuring something in order to raise our consciousness. It brings us to a place where something is completely broken apart, it feels foreign to us, and now we have to build it all anew, and it raises our consciousness. But with Mars in and Pluto both together along like a sandwich in Aquarius, this can be a very volatile energy. It can be an energy where anger erupts. Why is that? Because Mars is action. Mars in our chart is where we take action and the way we relate and take action with things in the world. It's our get up and go. It's the gas we put in our car. It's the ambition, our aggression, but it's also our assertion, right? And Pluto is an energy that likes to bring things in that are hidden and reveal them so that we can heal them, transform them. Pluto usually leads to transfiguration. So now we have the planet Pluto, which is all about transformation and transfiguration. Then we have Mars, which is action, aggression, assertion. In the signs, both of them in the sign of Aquarius, which is ruled by a planet called Uranus, which is known as the Great Awakener. Uranus in the chart is where things are accelerated. They move faster. It's an eruption. It's a quick lightning type bolt in the room that suddenly we see where everything is for a moment and then it goes dark again. So with Uranus, Mars, and Pluto working together, what's the energy going to be like? Well, let's put it together. Uranus likes to erupt things, make the lightning bolt happen so that we have a little bit of awakening. Pluto likes to bring things up and reveal things that are hidden. And Mars likes us to take action. So this is going to be an energy that might cause things to break apart in our life, may cause things to be disrupted or erupt, but it's doing that so that we can see where everything is, see where all the puzzle pieces are. And now we have enough light, Uranus, the Great Awakener, to be able to see where they should go. At 0 degrees of a sign, that's a brand new beginning. And Aquarius energy is an energy that wants us to move forward into competency, into an emergence. Aquarian energy is an energy that likes to have innovation, pioneering things. It likes to have incredible nuances with technology and science and all kinds of things like that. So don't be surprised if we even see some global positivity happening with new beginnings in healing, in power structures, things like that. So, when I see a chart where I have Mars and Pluto together, a lot of times it's very common for the soul's intention and the soul's characteristics in that life to be someone who is very energetic, very powerful, almost eruptive at times. They can have a temper, they can have aggression, or somebody who's learned to fuel all of that aggression into assertion to really fulfill the soul's intention. So in this energy this week, we really have an amazing, amazing opportunity to take power and use it for good to assert ourselves where we really want to go. Who are you becoming? What do you want to be? We now have the power to be able to really do that with this energy coming in. So as much as the polarity of this energy is one of temper and verbal sparring, and you probably will see a lot of fighting on the media and in news, and things are going to come out that are revealed and people are all going to have big opinions about it. But the really beautiful way to use this energy is to let it bring you forward and have assertion for your life through the dreams and the hopes and the wishes that you've always wanted to do, something new that can emerge from this energy because now you feel your power and you're getting in touch with that inner power and that inner light. And that's what this energy can really be a powerhouse for, is to ignite your own solar light, to find that inner landscape that you can really create from and use that power for assertion, not aggression. So one of the ways that we can really make sure that's the way we're using it is to go into some kind of a positivity meditation or a way to feel really positive about anything in our life, or just where we are in our life through gratitude or whatever the emotion might be. So we could really come up with some really great things. And if you have a group or you belong to a community, or even using the community like Zenkuda, it would be really amazing if we could all come together at a certain time and do that positivity vibration, So if we just want to take a few moments now, maybe just even 30 seconds, and just kind of breathe in and let that beautiful positive light come into our lives now and join together as a community tonight. Hopefully this will be a beautiful show and we can all share some really great stuff. So I'm going to say hello to you all. Everybody's sending up hearts. I love that. Thank you so much. There's nothing better than when we all come together and share a vibration of love and positivity. You could just feel it. And that's what tonight's about. We are a Valentine's Day show. So jumping right into chart work. So I want to say hello to everybody, and then we're going to do that. Hey, Marilyn, you're going to get read tonight. Darlene. Hi, Monica. Hi, Steve. How are you? Steve Interanti is another light worker that we know over here in Long Island, New York, and we love him. If you need help meditating, Steve Interanti is the place to go. Look him up on Facebook. And Aaron's on from Texas. Hey, Aaron. We got Stephanie on. We've got a bunch of people on tonight. I've got Carrie Faith on. Oh, Stephanie Kalanoff told you to watch. Well, thanks, Steph. You're one of my biggest fans. We're going to have to give you a big fan badge. So one of the things I want to just say before I start, because I always forget to say this on the show, is I am here every Monday night on Strong Island. You can watch replays on Spotify, any place that has podcasts, and also the show is replayed on channel 151 every Friday at noon, so you can have lunch with Georgia Rose if you missed the show. All of the shows are banked on Spotify, so if you go back and you want to listen to the audio while you're driving or while you're waiting in the car somewhere, great to do. And we're live every night from Strong Island Studios in Massapequa, New York. So you can find me on Zenkuda Soul Space on Facebook, Zenkuda Official, and also Zenkuda on YouTube. So what's Zenkuda? Well, Zenkuda means we are absolutely powerfully Zen. Zenkuda is when you reach a point in your life and you realize that you have your power within and you're living from that power in full potential and nobody's going to disturb it. We're really, really powerful about our Zen and we're protective of it. So we are Zenkudas. So first chart that I'm going to read is Marilyn Pisano, because Marilyn's been so sweet and so supportive of my work. And I want you all to know that there's no paywall with the show. My show is free. You can watch my show on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you want. There's no paywall for my show. I do this show. It actually ends up probably costing me a little bit of money, but I do this show because I really feel like this is a platform where we can all come together in community. It's a space of non-judgment. It's a space for everyone. It's whatever you want it to be that your soul space evolves to. I have no ambition whatsoever to be an influencer. I never want to influence your thoughts, your patterns, or your behaviors. I want to inspire you. So if what I say makes sense and you internalize it and make it something of yours to do it, more power to you. Tune into the show, join our community, and we'll have a little love fest every Monday night at 7. So Marilyn, your chart was very interesting to me. All charts are interesting to me, but some more than others. And Bobby or Carmine, who's ever backstage, is going to put the phone number on the screen. So if Marilyn wants to call in while I'm doing this, she can. And I'm just going to ask everybody else not to call in while I'm doing Marilyn's chart, because if she has any questions or wants to interact with me, I want her to be able to do it. So Marilyn, you are a Cancer sun, and your ascendant is in Leo, and your moon is in Pisces. So I know that you also do some spirit work and are very highly intuitive, and I attribute that to your Pisces moon. And that Pisces moon is very highly intuitive because Pisces is a sign of connection. Pisces is a sign that wants us all to return to source. So really interesting. So when I looked at your chart, I want to tell you your soul intention. I'm going to talk about that first from a perspective of that, because that's how I read. I study evolutionary astrology, which is for the intention of your soul. So your soul's desire in this lifetime, Marilyn, is to evolve via the correct use of energy with self-preservation. So self-preservation, self-protection is a big theme in your life. And a lot of times when we have that as a theme, or a soul has that as a theme or an intention, it can play out in the life as security versus restriction. The way the soul has actualized this in past lives is through a loss of innocence. You know, something happens to cause a loss of innocence, meaning that we all have things in our life that are our ideals, right? Whether it's a relationship or a job or a situation, we want this to be our ideal. It's what we constantly pursue. And in a past life, that ideal was lost, but it was done so. The soul had that experience so that you would come into competency. And I'm going to show you how this is all going to play out in your life now. So the evolutionary intention in this lifetime is in the sign of Scorpio. And the sign of Scorpio in your chart is basically there to teach you of the relationship and the attachment and merging of death and life. So what does that mean? It means that you're someone that knows what attachments are, and you know you like that deep merging in relationships, but it can also be a situation where you lose yourself a little bit because it's very intense. So in this lifetime, the way that the soul will activate that is make things come unbound. And almost like, you know, you may, especially with relationships, because relationships were very prominent in your chart, with relationships, you have this self-preservation mode. You want to preserve a part of yourself so that you're protected, but yet you go in so intensely and you go in so deeply. And then what happens is when the relationship starts to get intense, there's this flooding that happens. It's almost like an overwhelming feeling where you want to preserve. So it's this push-pull. So the reason why the soul has chosen these intentions of creating these experiences is all for one purpose. The soul's intention is to bring you back to source. So in this lifetime, and I've seen on you, you sometimes post where you're walking on the beach and things like that. That's vital for you. It's vital for you to learn how to be in your own space and alone. Because of the soul's intention with self-preservation in this lifetime, you have to learn the correct use of energy. And the correct use of energy isn't to go so intensely in relationships that you feel that flooding and then want to preserve yourself. And it also isn't, welcome to the soul space. Hi, Marilyn, is that you? She's going to come through. Hello? Hi, Marilyn, is that you? There you are. Marilyn? Hello? They're going to try and patch Marilyn through. So while they're doing that, I'm going to keep talking. And Marilyn, when you come on, just say hey. So hey, Marilyn, is that you?
It is me. I was trying to call Phil for a while now. Sorry about that.
I was hoping you'd call in. So what I'm seeing in your chart, it's so much easier to do a chart when you can talk to somebody. So I'm seeing relationships are a big thing in your life. But what I was just saying is there's this push-pull where you get in so intense and relationships are so important to you, but you can lose your power a little bit. And it becomes almost, it feels like a flooding for you. And then you want to go back and self-preserve. So like I see sometimes on your Facebook page, you have a tendency to walk on the beach or do something like that. That's vital for you because your soul's intention in this lifetime is to learn the correct use of energy, meaning that it'll when you're in a relationship and you're starting to give up your power, you're going to get that feeling of flooding, like it's too much, like you're drowning, because the soul wants to pull back so you learn the correct use of energy and the correct use of your own power so that you're not giving power away and you're also not holding yourself back. There's a happy medium there. And this all stems from a lot of safety and security issues and fulfilling your soul's intention, which is, merging, but yet not getting too attached. And that's the lesson that so many of us have such a hard time with. I know I've experienced this in my own chart of security versus restriction. And a lot of times you'll think something is your security, but it really turns out to be restricting you and holding you back. So then the soul creates an experience where it'll break apart or break up because it wants you to go back to source for that experience.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense to you?
Oh, it absolutely does. The last relationship that I was in for almost 6 years, it was an energy drain for me. It was like I was with an energy vampire.
Yep.
And when I would spend 2, 3, 4 days, and then I'd have to come home and regenerate my energy and, increase my vibration.
Yep, because that's
I feel
that
it was
flooding.
drained.
And the soul's intention in this lifetime is to create that flooding so that you return to source, which is you and that solar light and connection.
Absolutely. And the beach is such a vital place for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people if they do it. I ground myself, I recalibrate myself, and I feel like $1 million when I leave.
And that's what you have to do, because the other part of your chart that I see here is that you have the ability to be a fabulous communicator, but the issue is that sometimes you give up your power. Like you have to really work at that correct use of power, because sometimes you speak too much or you feel like you'll get a little aggressive. And other times you just give up your power and you stay quiet. You have to find the reconciliation of that energy, because you have the potential to be such a great communicator and truth teller, but you go between the two extremes, you polarize it. And spending time in your own energy is going to help you balance that.
It really does when I have to do that. And now that I'm not with that person, I vibrate so much higher.
Mm-hmm.
I have all my power back. I called all my power back because I was giving my power away.
Yeah, and that's going to be a theme for you in your life. And your soul really doesn't want to do that. A big portion of your soul energy and intention in this lifetime, Marilyn, is to establish that correct use of energy between what's worth your time, what's not worth your time, when you do have to protect yourself, and when you're fine to let go.
Absolutely.
And if I can just leave you with a couple of tips for that, like sometimes what really helps with that kind of dilemma or that kind of challenge is exactly what you're doing, going within and finding your balance, and also being very aware of when you're in relationship with people, even if it's like coworkers or just a friend or whatever, really thinking about the reflection, like not just the relationship with you have with the other, but how the other comes back to you, that full
Yes.
circle,
And it
that
has to
reflection.
satisfy my needs because my needs definitely weren't being met. And
Right.
it wasn't an equal give and take, which is what
Hmm.
I'm searching for from my future life in all relationships, not just a romantic relationship.
Exactly. Exactly. Because you're always going to feel like your MO, your go to is, oh, just let me like let this person in because it's so important to me to relate. Because you're a relator. You like to relate to everything, but you have to be very mindful of what you're getting back in that loop. It should be like that figure 8 infinity symbol. Like just picture that in your mind and always remember this is a really important loop because we can't learn on our own and we can't learn with someone that we're not reflected back in. We need the reflection in order to find the lesson, the communication, the wisdom.
Oh, absolutely. And as a funny sidebar, a couple of years back, I got the infinity symbol with a heart,
Oh, how
meaning that
great.
I'm infinite love, and it's a constant reminder that I have to be in that loop. I
I
can't just
love
have it
that.
one way.
See, so you're on your journey. You're definitely on your trajectory. So I hope this was meaningful for you. I'm going to move on to the next person, but I hope this was, something that really stands out for you.
Absolutely, and I thank you so much for
You're
giving of
welcome.
your time to me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for phoning in. I'll talk to you soon, hon.
You're welcome.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
So the next person that we're going to do, and I got to kind of hurry up a little bit because I talk too much. The next person we're going to do is Darlene. I'm sorry, Kim Murray. So Kim, when I looked at your chart, you have also a very interesting chart. All charts are interesting to me, though. I love astrology. I'm just in my zone. And everyone should find their soul spaces too. Astrology connects me with, well, I'm going to say the word God. Astrology connects me with God and my own soul. So hopefully you all have something that does that for you. Sometimes it can just even be a great cup of coffee, right? So, Kim, your soul's desire in this lifetime is to evolve via inner truths and belief systems. You are absolutely here to evolve through belief systems and finding your own beliefs. The way the soul has actualized this in past life is actually, like we were just talking about with Marilyn, by becoming unbound with an emphasis on communication and multiplicity. So, in a past life, there was a lot of paradoxes, and that might have shut you down. So, in this life, you're really here to blossom in your own identity and your own belief systems. Um, this is something that in this lifetime, the intention is to really find that evolution through communication and through an energy that knows that sometimes two things can be true. And this is so important even globally now in the world. We're so polarized as a society. And when I see something like this in someone's chart where their evolutionary intention is really that communication field and the multiplicity, what it really means is that through your belief systems and as you evolve and as the soul evolves in this lifetime, you're going to have experiences more than likely where the soul will create an experience of having to really anchor down in something that's a belief or a truth that you've developed on your own and is a new emerging energy because something you believed in or trusted no longer holds water. So your belief systems will be really kind of challenged in this lifetime in order for you to find your belief systems and really anchor into that. So at times it's going to be very confusing and you'll feel like there's multiplicity and two things can be true, right? Um, and your lifetime is going to be one where you are really pursuing those ideals and those belief systems. And the way that that's going to happen in your lifetime is through a series of experiences that make your inner light come through. So I'm just going to look at my notes here because it's really important for me to explain this in the right way to you. With you, it's all about the truth. And you want to unleash your inner explorer. Maybe perhaps you've come from a place of rooted belief systems. I'd love to hear that from you. If we put the phone number on the screen and you wanted to call in, if not, it's fine. I'll look at my comments if you just want to comment. But a lot of times when I see this type of chart, it's a soul who's been incarnated and in an early life really has very rooted or rigid belief systems that they have to grow out of or overcome. You also have planets that are retrograde in the chart, Pluto, Uranus. And when Pluto is retrograde in the chart, it means that you're going to have an experience where you'll question your own desires. Like, why do I want this? Why do I desire this? And that experience is actually placed in the chart so that you get more anchored in what your desires really are. When we see a planet retrograde, a lot of times it means that in the prior life, whatever that planet's mission or job was in the chart was not completed. So if the planet is retrograde in this lifetime as a do-over. So many times when Pluto is retrograde, it's going to mean that you have a do-over in regards to what your desires are and what's really meaningful to you. Uranus retrograde in the chart for you means that in this lifetime, you were put here to absolutely embrace your uniqueness and to absolutely embrace what's different about you. So when I pair that with the soul's intentions to find your belief systems by awakening the inner explorer, I would say that you probably have a really unique personality. I think that you're shedding old belief systems and old ways in this lifetime, and sometimes that can be really difficult. You might have a crisis of faith, but it's all happening to bring you to a much closer connection with Source and with Spirit. You've also got Neptune in Scorpio, which is just an energy of really deep diving. Like you're going to want to connect to very intense, very deep kind of energy. You're an Aquarius sun, which would make you extremely unique. You're someone who is going to not only be drawn to other unique people, but you're someone who is going to always want to see something new. You get very tired of things if they stay stagnant. You're a Sagittarius ascendant, which pairs up with that ninth house Pluto energy. It's all about the truth and belief systems for you. It just is repetitive across the whole chart. This can also mean that you are a truth teller. And maybe some people don't always like that, but it's just something innate in you that you have to do. And you have an Aries moon. And Aries moon is oftentimes an energy of someone who doesn't always synthesize their emotions well. Sometimes Aries moons, when they get emotional, their default is anger or a little bit of aggression to push someone away because they really don't know how to emote in that energy of sensitivity and, that vulnerable core. So in your lifetime, what I would say would be really great exercises or things for you to do is definitely connect and research and read and whatever you need to do, like a sponge, soak up new belief systems, different types of belief systems, different types of modalities. That's going to be everything for you. Like your soul is here to learn and establish your very strong and rooted belief systems that are unique for you, not the consensus, not what anyone else thinks. So that's definitely your energy, Kim, and I hope that that resonates and brings you some deep meaning. So, okay, I'm just checking my comments. Next is Darlene Attard. Let's just check some comments first. Marilyn is a doorbell. Yeah, it's funny. That's the way the phone rings here. They had a problem patching her in first. You can call in from Australia. Of course, Emily. Absolutely. We've had people call from all over the globe. Next show, I'm going to do a live call in. Anybody can call in. Tonight, I just wanted the people who I was doing charts for to call in. Emily, just PM me your information after the show, and next week I'll read you on the show. So Aaron is asking me what the best days to have a meeting or a job interview is this month. I would say this week is good if you can like keep your cool and be very because this is a great week for assertion. So, and also we have a full moon coming in at the end of the month, which will also be a great time to, especially if you're looking for, it's a great time to make a change, especially if you're looking to end something and begin something new. That would be like awesome to do. Okay, so I got to move along here. So, Darlene Attard. Darlene, you are a Taurus sun, a Pisces ascendant, and a Libra moon. Love that, Libra moon. So, for you, your sole intention in this lifetime, my dear, is that your soul wants to evolve through relationships. You're all about the relationships, Darlene. And in this lifetime, you're going to find a lot of power control dynamics in relationships, but different than the first chart I read, which was Marilyn. For you, Darlene, Pluto makes you very intense where Pluto is in your chart. So it can make you very intense. The soul is intense in this lifetime. Let's put it that way. You have a tremendous craving at times for a one-on-one relationship. You like that. You're a pairer. You like to be in a pair. You have a great need for companionship, even if that's just a friendship or whatever. You like to be in a pair. But in order to really be in that pair, you've got to muster more self-esteem. Maybe you've already done that in your life. I'm just reading the chart. I don't know you. Because if you don't have a really good self-esteem and self-validation, you will have a tendency to attach to people who are less than desirable for you. And I mean that not just in romantic relationships. It could be a job. It could be a friend. It could be, companions, whatever. You will attach to less than desirable because you just love to be around people and you love that pairing energy so much. So one of the things that you would work on in your life, a soul with this intention would work on in their life, is definitely making sure that power dynamics in relationships are in balance for you. That Libran moon energy is an energy that, just like I was saying to Marilyn's chart, Libran energy can make us be controlling because we don't want to have criticism, or it can make us a little passive aggressive. So when you have some Libran energy in your chart, you want to make sure that you're looking at the reflection you get back from the other. That's really what relationship and balance is about. Librans will spend a lifetime, and I can talk like this because I'm a Libra sun, will spend a lifetime trying to balance by getting the right relationship and getting the right house and getting the right this and getting the right that. But that's not what Libra is about. Libra is about balancing the inner landscape, balancing within, so that when we go into relationship with anything, I have a relationship with this desk, right? Whatever we relate to, we have to find a wisdom or an experience in it. If we're just looking to that thing, person, or situation to validate us and make things okay, we don't get that. The experience has to come when we bring ourselves to it. That person sees us for who we are. That situation sees us for who we are. And then we go home and we reflect about it. How did that make me feel? And we learn from that. That's the reflection of the Libran balance. That's the reflection of relationship energy. So in this lifetime, you also have some retrogrades. It's very important for you to formulate your belief systems based on what's meaningful to you and not what's meaningful to the masses, not what's like the in thing, but what's really your thing. But really in your lifetime, Darlene, watch for that codependence because that can be a little bit of an issue for you. So in this lifetime, your soul wants to balance those relationships between the self and other. So it's really all about that balance, that seesaw has to be in the middle. In the past life, you have actually actualized this need for balance through responsibility. And that responsibility came from a lot of things being broken apart in your life. And so then you had to step up and be responsible. The evolutionary intention in this lifetime is to emerge in new directions and to take up space and be present. So when you are craving companionship, when you're craving friendship, craving relationship, remember you have a space in that. You must emerge and be fully present in that and be who you are. Bring your belief systems to that. Bring your own relationship balance to that. Who am I? Who do I show up as in relationships? Not just who is this person going to be to me. Very, very important. The way the soul will actualize that in this lifetime, that lesson, that intention, is through security and nurturing, and you being able to be vulnerable in that space. So when you're looking to put the balance together, you've got to allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to show who you really are. That's the true balance in a relationship. You have to be authentic. That's what your soul came here to do. And once you start to do that and understand you can let your guard down and you'll still be okay because you have that relationship with yourself, that's when the relationships that you're craving and the companionship and the one-on-one validation you're looking for becomes really, really in balance because you're actually getting the validation from within, not the other. So I hope that helps and that's meaningful for you, Darlene. And the next one I'm going to read is Lisa Ann Balzano. And Lisa, for you, it's all about returning to source. Your whole chart, that is absolutely the repetitive theme, is returning to source. You are here to really be in that space of connecting with whatever your higher power is. And you're also here to be seen and speak the truth and bring your desires and your dreams into form. Bring your truths into form. What do I mean by that? Well, we don't really exist until we don't feel like we exist until someone sees us, correct? So you're meant to be out there in the world with your solar light, your truth, and to be seen. But at the same time, it's really important for you to connect to source so that you understand the correct use of energy is to bring your own light into the world, not just to be seen for some, more superficial reason, but to be seen because everything we do is a co-creation with source. We don't create anything alone. So we bring something into form and create something, and then it exists. For instance, if I have a blank piece of paper and I want to accomplish something today, but I have to write down what it is first, and I start writing on paper, as soon as that writing goes on a piece of paper, it's a form. It's breathing life into it. It's taking form. Years ago, I made oracle cards, and I was working so hard on them. And then the minute I got them and they came in the mail and I had them in my hands, it was like this amazing magical moment because something that I dreamed and thought about and created in union with source was put into form. It existed. That's why you're here. Your soul's intention in this lifetime is for you to know you exist and be seen and breathe form into your life. So you may oftentimes in this lifetime, the soul will engage in an experience of loss because the soul wants you to be in a space of not isolation, but a space of aloneness so that you understand your validation has to come from within and not the other. You will understand your validation has to come from your own truths and not the truths that someone else told you should believe. So through the transformation of experience, the decay of a lot of systems and structures in your life that really don't make sense for you, that's where you find that individuation, that individual light, and that return to source and that truth. So I'm sorry to say, but this can be a lifetime where a lot of things that you're attached to fall by the wayside. But that happens because the soul's intention is to form the attachment within the self to source. And that's really, really beautiful when you think about it. So for you, it's all about a return to source. So my next person is Anita Mina. Anita has been with me as a client now and again for years and years and years. I first met Anita in, so when I used to do psychic fairs, God, that's back in, I want to say the early 2010s, so that's quite a while ago, at least 10, 12 years ago. So Anita, for you in this lifetime, just want to check. So Darlene says, thanks, George. You're so true. I do reflect a lot on my experiences by journaling, and that has helped me see my codependency. Oops. And my yoga meditation practice continues to help me work through and be authentic. Yeah, and I think I can feel your energy, and you are so authentic. But like anything else, when we come into this lifetime with certain patterns, we fall back on them. But the soul creates those intentions to bring us to more and more and more levels. So every time we fall back or we have another experience of loss or another experience that's challenging, it's really the soul like knocking on the door. Hey, I want you to look over here now. We're doing this, right? It's like somebody with an anger issue that it's going to keep rising up and keep rising up because the soul wants you to fix it. So it's going to get worse and worse and worse until you reconcile it and you find that resolution point. So Anita, for you, Your soul's intention in this lifetime, it's all about, again, finding truth in relationships. I know this is a theme, but this often happens with me when I read charts or I do tarot and pull in the same cards because that's just the energy. But for you, it's a little bit different. For you, it's truth in relationship, but it's also about understanding the paradoxes and the multiplicity. You are a Cancer sun, a Libra moon. There's a second Libra moon we've had tonight, and a Capricorn rising. So for you, it's finding security and stability in relationships. You also really like to pair. It's very important to you because you have conditioning. And here's where you're a little different than the other charts that I read. What I read in your chart was there's some kind of a conditioning, some kind of a family, almost like tradition or the way that the family does things that's really important to you. And oftentimes what you have to really watch for is that your soul may sometimes create experiences where you gravitate towards what's traditional or what's accepted by the people around you, what's expected of you, what is your obligation, what you should do, but that doesn't always really resonate with you. And that's when you get into trouble because you find yourself in situations where, maybe you have a relationship with someone who's perfect because your family likes them, as example, but then they're not really perfect for you. Or maybe you take on a profession or some thing in your life that you really, it's a role. It's a role that you think you should play for everyone else's benefit. And especially in this next year and a half for you, you're going to see that you're going to be letting go of a lot of those roles and you're going to be coming into Anita time. And Anita time is a really great time for you to be in because that's when you start to communicate new beliefs and your personal truth. You have very much been conditioned and living by other people's truths, I have a feeling. You've sought balance in those truths, but they're just not creating balance for you. It's like trying to you get a meal served to you because it's somebody else's favorite and you're trying so hard to make it your favorite meal, but you really just don't like it. That's really what the energy is like. And because you have Uranus retrograde again in your chart, like so many others, whatever truth you find is going to be unique to you. It's your unique truth, and you need to embrace that and know that that is absolutely perfectly fine. Your soul came here to find that. Your soul came here to create experiences that will lead you to that. So make sure that you are creating individuation in your life. It's all about the truth for you, but it's all about the truth in an individuation for the personal self. Your identity is what your soul is seeking in this life. You're here to be liberated and liberated from those old values, those old truths that really don't hold for you. There's a lot of healing for you in your chart when you let go of those traditional ways and allow yourself to be vulnerable. I think that there's a part of you that oftentimes does not allow that vulnerability because, like, there's a right way to do things. And it's not easy. It's not easy because you have a deep security attachment to those old belief systems. But you've got to really find a way to resolve that because what I'm telling you is those old belief systems are restricting you. And remember when we talked about restriction, security versus restriction, it's hard to let go, but you have to take responsibility for that self-discipline in order to branch out and really find what is right for you. So if I was going to leave you with any advice, it would be to work really hard. I know it's not easy, but to work really hard because your soul's intention is to align with your specific belief system, which is about relationships for you on your own terms, not the traditional terms. So you may find yourself when you shed this conditioning and you start to find your liberation, you may find yourself in a very unique or non-traditional or very very different type of relationship, perhaps even with somebody from another country or another place, or just something that's very different, very unique. And what's the word I'm looking for? Not strange. Not, I don't want to use that word, but something like very super new, just something that like pioneering, like something that no one is ever like would expect you to really be attracted to. It could even be a profession in that regard, but something that's really a new beginning for you that is incredibly sharp in the beginning, for people to understand, but then it's part of you, so it's going to be fine. So those were the readings for tonight. I think I got them all. And if you want me to read you on the show, just PM me your info. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to go back to the comments and see. Non-traditional. Absolutely. That's good word, Aaron. Thank you. Yeah. So Anita, keep your eyes and ears open. Allow yourself to be open, because I think sometimes, Anita, you have a, it's just innate in you in the chart. There is an energy of, kind of closing for self-protection. And you really want to remain open, because there's some beautiful energy that can come in for you. And I really do believe that you're going to be shedding a lot of tradition, a lot of stuff that's just like, it's past its time. It's dusty. You want to branch out, really. Oh, Marilyn, I'm grateful for you too. Beautiful energy. Forever ago, Anita says, yeah. So it's that old energy. Yes, Lisa Bolzano Enright is an amazing soul. Light is so bright. Read her chart on here as well tonight. I don't know if she was on. I hope she was. I've got Rose Winzinger, Stephanie. So what info I need, Stephanie wants me to remind, I need your birth date with time and place of birth. And I need your birth date, time, and place. So a lot of people forget the place, and I need that. If you do not have your birth time, you can always request on your birth certificate. If it's not there, some places have a long form, which will have your time. And also want to announce, I think the first Monday in March, we're going to have Carrie Ann on. Carrie Ann is also a healer and a light worker. You're going to love her story. I don't even know her full story yet, but I just love her energy, so I asked her to be on the show. Because that's how I roll. It's a soul space. It's such great divine energy. I just want everybody to enjoy it. And one of these days, what we're going to do for the show is, Bobby doesn't know this, I'm springing it on you now. I forgot to go to commercial again, so we're going to do that in a minute. One of these days, I'm going to allow people to come into the studio, and we'll tape the show live with me doing some work in the studio with you guys. How's that sound? I just want to do that because I want energy around me. So just going back in the comments, and then we're going to go to commercial. So that's the energy that I need. Friday should work really good, Aaron. I would do Friday. I'll look on the charts when I get home too. Not really super bad days. I think we passed the bad days with this past weekend. That Aquarius moon knocked us all out. Nobody on the whole planet slept, I don't think. I can WhatsApp definitely, Emily. And I also do private readings. My private readings are an hour long, and you can get information about that on my website on zenkuda.com if you want to purchase an hour-long reading. And thank you, everybody. Heidi Elizabeth is on. Heidi, I love you. And everybody's on tonight. So let's keep this going. Let's keep this energy going. You can find me every Monday, 7 p.m. in the Soul Space. Please like me on Facebook at Zenkuda Soul Space, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Zenkuda. And on Instagram, I am Zenkuda Official, and you can always PM me, DM me if you want a reading. And I will be back here next Monday night. And now I'm going to let my beautiful producers in the back, Bobby and Carmine, go to commercial. Thanks, everybody. I love you. Happy Valentine's Day.
All right. Is everybody having a good time tonight or what? That's what I thought.
Everybody, it's Teresa from Tea Time. What's my show about? I interview people in the entertainment industry, producers, directors, actors, and guess what? My show is on every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Channel 20 on Optimum TV. So tune in because it's fun, interesting, and exciting.
Hi, everybody. I'm Stephen Michael. Come follow me every Saturday night at 10:30 p.m. Channel 115 on the Keeping It Real with Stephen Michael show. Come hang out with me and DJ Brian as we play your favorite music. We have your motivational messages, and I promise you, you'll leave a happier person. The show's all about faith, mental health awareness, and motivational messages. I'll see you every Saturday night, 10:30 p.m., Channel 115, where the insanity begins.
And all your problems make you want to scream and shout. Keeping it real with Stephen Michael. Never give up, Stephen Michael.
Hi, I'm Georgia Rose, founder of Zenkuda. You can watch me on the Soul Space podcast every Friday at noon on Channel 20 for spiritual guidance. And as you all know, that is how I first opened into my own psychic gifts, was through the angelic realm, astrology. So we've got Mars and the Sun together in Scorpio, which creates a lot of combustion. In the astrological world, we call that a cazimi, and tarot. When the Four of Cups right side up, it means we have a lot of choices to make, and we're not looking at what's really being divinely given to us. We're too busy in the busyness of the choices to really see the divine intervention, the divine timing, and the divine guidance. We're the place. Watch the Soul Space podcast.